Hello everyone, Mark here with Mark's Max Muscle. And as you may know, this search for the best version of Kevin Levrone is narrowing down. Well, the first round matches, they're all done. So from here on in, we're going to focus in on just these remaining years. And of course, today we have a humdinger. 1992 versus 1995. And I'm sure you already are well aware that he placed second place at the Olympia in both of these years. So this is going to be a good battle. And here's a very good comparison here. And it is plain to see that it is two different athletes that we are dealing with today, ladies and gentlemen. The size that he put on, just massive. But it's size everywhere. Look at around the waistline. His waist is much larger. But I mean, look at those traps and delts. And then you look at the cuts and the striations in 92 are superior, I do have to say. But I mean, I'm definitely not going to make a decision based on this here comparison. But if I did have to lean towards one of these two, it is definitely the 1992. But I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is not even really a pose. And you look at the big, thick, massive arms there of the 95. He definitely has some capabilities. So let's have a nice, what is this, a mandatory pose, a side tricep. And I have to go out on a limb on this one and say, yes, he is much more massive. First, I am going to say he is striking the pose, just tilted a little bit different. But besides that, I am going to go out on a limb and say I like the 92 one better. He's much larger, yes, perhaps, in weight, volume. But look at the pecs. Look at the tricep alone. Look at the deep cuts on those delts. I find he is much more aesthetic. And I don't know, I just like him better in 92 in this comparison now. So I guess I'm leaning slightly towards the 92 one so far, but it is far from over, as these two are probably the best versions of Levrone. So I want to make sure I take my time and make the best decision possible. And here in the rear, double bicep, and it is another tough one. Now yes, the 1995 version has much more thickness, especially in the lower lats there and the traps. But then when you look at the hamstrings on the 1992 version, I mean, wow, look at the conditioning. But then you look over at the glutes in 95. What a tough one. I almost have to slap an inconclusive another one on this one. So just slightly, and I mean slightly, the 1992 version is winning, and that's just based on the side tricep. So I guess we're going to move on. Now here in the rear lat spread, and I am tempted to lean more towards the 1992. His glutes are just as good this time, and look at the superiority in the hamstring development. It looks like pieces of beef jerky, just dry. And the other one looks more like a hot dog. But I mean, look at the thickness of the lats and the traps in 95. I could definitely see where some people would give it to him. But you know me, and conditioning is very important here. So just slightly again, we're leaning towards the 92. But all it would take is a couple of really overshadowing shots from the 95 version, and it could be all she wrote. And furthermore, I am not that convinced with these back shots, so let's have two more, just so we can definitely make sure we're making the right decision. And I have to say, I am very impressed with the Kevin Levrone of 1992. Look at those hamstrings and glutes. I have to lean towards him. I have to, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he has a little bit more thickness in his lats and traps, definitely his traps. But I mean the conditioning, the cuts even in the arms. I have to go with 92 in this one. I am more convinced now than ever. But I mean, we have some more comparison shots, so let's take a peek, shall we? And hold the bus, ladies and gentlemen. Put the brakes on this competition for just 1 second. This 1995 lat spread of Kevin Levrone is just flattening that of 1992. Wow, look at the impressive amount of meat he put on. And I have to say his glutes are flexed in a way here that they look like they're better. And he might not have really nailed the shot here in 92, but hey, we have to go with what we have. All I had to go was with a couple lousy screenshots, but screenshots are about a million times better than nothing, right? Anyway, 95 is winning this one. So perhaps not the domination that I thought. And not only put the brakes on, but throw this baby in reverse. Here in this most muscular pose, and 92 does not stand a chance. Look at the big beast, the 95 Levrone. Wow! He's like a big grizzly bear coming on the scene, just roar, get out of my way, you little geek. That's what he would call himself, a little geek, because he does not look very good at all in 1992 in this pose. So we're seeing some limitations to this dry striated condition that he brought. And we have no choice at all but to throw this video in overtime. But not that you guys care, because I do believe there was a couple of requests in the comments section to make these videos longer. And I do apologize for the 2002 versus 2003 version. It was not a very long video, because honestly guys, I didn't think either of those 2 years would be there at the end. But this one is darn close. So let's have yet another comparison shot. It may have been the understatement of the decade to say that this competition is far from over. The 1995 version is just running roughshod over this much, much leaner version. He's taking advantage. Look at the beef that he has put on. Wow, must be 20, 30 pounds. Jeez, just unbelievable. So this is a situation here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to search for a couple more poses, because honestly, I really don't know which way to lean at this point in time. So let's have another comparison. And I guess we're forced to get into the photo shoot pictures as far as the 92 is concerned anyway. And we are going to take that into consideration because the lighting and everything's perfect. But for this one, all I really need is the silhouette to see the lat improvement. And look at this showcase of the 95 lats of Levrone. He put on a lot of beef in his back, I believe, and you can really see it here in the front lat spread. And I mean the conditioning, yes, it is better probably in 92, but like I said, it's a photo shoot. And his waist is nice and small in 95. Maybe not quite as small, but it's pretty tight nonetheless. So if I had to lean towards any one of these two, it would be the 95. Man, this is a close one, ladies and gentlemen. We are forced to have another comparison. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the 1995 version takes it. I do believe we are going to have to give the trophy to the 95 version. I mean, yes, I will say that skin is a little bit thinner. It looks a little thinner, that paper-thin skin in 92. But I mean, if you really look at the striations there, the separation of the shoulder and the pecs, and even the big lats jetting out there, I have to give it to 95. He just looks really dry and conditioned that year. Maybe not, like I said, the skin might not be quite as thin, but pretty darn close. And hey, he's that much bigger and more muscular. Although I will say that bicep looks fantastic in 1992. But come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tough one, and I have to lean somewhere. So, I mean, the 95, I guess, but I do believe we have one more pose. So let's have a look at this one more pose. I just do not believe this, ladies and gentlemen. The 1992 version is now making the 95 version look like an amateur. Which way am I going to lean? I just cannot believe this. I actually have it all. It's tied now. I should have just left well enough alone, gave the 95 version the trophy, and called it a day. But I knew I had this picture here, and it really showcases the 92's conditioning. What to do? I'm going to have to dig up at least one more pose, ladies and gentlemen. I have no choice. But I will say both of these versions are perhaps the best. But like I said, I have to pick a winner. And you guys might not like it, but I have to base my decision based on this final pose. It's all I have. And here we go. I am leaning slightly toward the 1992 version. I believe his style and his aesthetics are just that much better. Now, yes, we are dealing with a much larger athlete in the 95 version, but look at that thin skin and even the shape of the biceps themselves, things of that nature. The cuts in the legs, a little bit better, a smaller waist. But my soul, this was a close one. And I wager to say that the other version that makes it to the finals, if the 92 does make it, then I wager to say that the 95 version is perhaps the second best. But who knows? The other versions may be head and shoulders above the 92. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, the 1992 version of Levrone will advance, and the next match features the 96 versus the 99 Levrones. So that should be a good one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day.